Hey everybody, it's Mango with Mango Reviews. So I got another movie review for you guys. This time it's Land of Wolves, another movie by Chicagoland movie director Tommy Jackson. Um, just there's a lot I gotta say about this. It's for an independent movie. It amazes me how good this movie looks. It doesn't look like an independent movie. It looks like I don't want to say blockbuster because blockbusters sometimes don't look good either. But I want to say it's so well crafted that it doesn't have any right being an independent movie. Is that the right way? Um, yeah, it you know. Um, and this time, different from the last review I did of his movies, was I think the last movie I did was Whispers of the Witching Hour, and I hope I got that right. I don't have it written down or anything like that, but um, just the way it looks is phenomenal. Every scene of the movie feels like a I think I said this last time. Feels like a painting. He just takes time and care where he places the camera and the actors and the lights. And I mean, I know that's what cinematographers do, and that's basically what he is. He does that as well as direct and write and edit the movie. And I believe he does some of the special effects. And uh, it's just and this time the story is well crafted as well. Or last time the story was a little, and the acting was a little. This this is like the whole package. I'll give you a little breakdown of what I think it's kind of like. I'm not going to give you the plot or anything like that. You can, but if you like action movies, I'm going to say it's kind of like if you mixed a whole bunch of genres together as well. It's like an action horror, um, psychological thriller, um, just all these genres kind of pushed together, and but they all have it's all very balanced. There's not like it's done well, and it's pretty amazing that a small independent crew put this together, and I believe in two locations, one in the Arizona desert and then one in Chicago, and and the acting and the stunts, and there's some fighting scenes in it that are just the way that they're filmed. It's like this feels like, so I don't want to say Hollywood because it to me that almost feels like it cheapens the movie, because it doesn't it feels more like a A24 style movie, where A24 in the past, I think what, like 10 years now, it seems like every movie they come out with is this well crafted and well thought out, and that's it. That's how this feels. Right now it's on Apple TV, I think. That's how I watched it. I rented it. I think you can rent it or buy it right now. Um, but just, you know, so, yeah, he's able to take basically what feels like a action movie at the beginning. It's basically this group of soldiers that go to rescue another soldier who's, I guess he was left behind, and so it has a element of like a rescue movie, action type movie, kind of like, I don't want to say Saving Private Ryan because it's not that kind of movie, but maybe Black Hawk Down a little bit in there, because of the modern uh, warfare, um, and maybe Black Hawk Down. There's a little bit of maybe Jack Ryan, um, like the current Jack Ryan. If you look at the old Jack Ryan, like Harrison Ford, like in Patriot Games or Clear and Present Danger, not so much that, but this maybe a little bit of that, but that kind of like government, military, like CIA type of you know operation, and they have to go in and find this guy, and what they encounter is pretty intriguing. But there's some, excellent fight scenes, and they're not war scenes, but actual boxing type, like cage match. I don't want to say cage match, but that sort of thing. I don't want to say Fight Club because it's not like Fight Club, but some similar to that kind of like the if you haven't seen Fight Club just has there's scenes of it that they're just there's boxing matches like in a basement, and that's what this some of this kind of feels like. And then there's that movie Only God Forgives with Ryan Gosling, and it has elements of that too. And I think it's that part is more about the look of it because the lighting and the kind of the darkness of it, kind of the dark storyline as well. There's some dark themes in this movie. I don't want to give too much away because I think it's worth the watch. You could look at the reviews. I think everybody agrees with me. This is like his last movie. I gave 7 out of 10, mostly because of how it looked. I gave this. I'm giving this closer to a 9 out of 10 because of both of how it looked and how well crafted it is, and just the storyline, and even the ending. I don't want to give too much away, but just clever. Um, Tommy Jackson. I grew up in Chicago. I don't live in Chicago now, but I grew up in Chicago, and having a fellow Chicagoan, um, and filming in Chicago, and I kind of recognize some of uh, the locations, and it's kind of neat. It's like, oh, I know where that's at. So it's kind of cool that being from Chicago, and Tommy Jackson, is filming in Chicago, and some of these actors are from Chicago. So it's kind of neat that this is happening in my where I grew up and stuff, and so I'm still around the Chicagoland area, but I don't live in Chicago. But Tommy Jackson again, just does such a good job crafting these movies. And so far, I've watched 3 of his movies, and there's another one that I'll be doing called Let Them Come, and it'll probably be coming out maybe next week. But same thing, well crafted story. The way it's filmed is beautiful, beautiful. Like I said, the way he films and the way he selects his locations, and even just everything about it. The way, especially this movie, Land of Wolves, is like there's a couple scenes in it there that just stand out, and I might throw some of the still shots up on the screen here. But after watching the first movie I watched by him, I was a little concerned about this one and the storyline, and and the other one, Let Them Come. I was worried about the storyline and the way the story was crafted. I was a little worried about the acting too. But as soon as this one started, right off the bat, it felt good. and it is good. It's like uh, when I wrote the review and did the movie review for the first movie, the witch movie. I was a little worried because I felt bad because I was being honest. I want to be honest about these movies and reviews, so people don't go out and well, I'm I'm not a movie critic. I'm an artist. I'm on my own. I do graphic design as a it's my profession. But I do, I've done some artsy movies. I wouldn't call them artsy movies. They're just fun movies and stuff like that that I've done on my own. And but when I do these and I do my music reviews, I want to be as honest as possible. If I've heard any of the songs that I'm doing the music reviews for, I'm gonna let the audience know. I'm gonna let you guys know, the guys that are watching. And I'm gonna be honest. If I heard any little bit of it, I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna say, oh, it's the first time ever hearing it. No, I'll say, maybe I heard the chorus, or maybe I heard the first 5 seconds of it, because the reason why I'm doing the review is because I saw it on my Instagram feed or something like that. So, but you know, I don't know where I was going with that, but sometimes I tend to ramble. I have a little outline. I did a little outline on this one, but I haven't looked at it once. I think I looked at it for a lot. It's like it's off to the side here on my screen. It's like, um, it's like I want to look at it, but I also want to be candid about the whole thing. But to get back to the subject of this movie, it's uh, it's good. I don't like a I wouldn't say I don't like movies with violence in it, um, but I think it's more of the way that he was able to build tension in some of these, where it's like, yeah, this is suspenseful. I was like on the some parts, I was like, what's gonna happen? And it's like, whoa, this is, I actually feel for the characters and what's gonna happen next, and like, holy shit, they're in a, you know, um, how what are they gonna do to get out of this? And there's not too many. As I get older, it feels like there's not too many movies that do that, because it's not that I've seen everything or I've been in situations like that, but there's not that many movies that are like, oh my god, that make me stressed. It's like most of the time, it's like, I guess maybe I don't watch that type of movie anymore, but I'm thinking like, even some of the like, okay, I'll put this out there. I'm not saying this movie is like Goodfellas, but Goodfellas, there are some scenes where you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know how the character, what they're going to do, and how they're acting in a certain way that you don't know what's going to happen next. And that's how there's some scenes of this movie that feel that way. And maybe kind of like how Taxi Driver is. It has this. There's these tense moments where you have no idea what's going to happen next and how are they going to get out of this. And it's like, tell you the truth, I was watching John Wick, the first one, for the first time in years. And there's a couple scenes in that where it's like, oh, they got him. It's too late. He's done for. And he gets out of it. And it's like, but before he gets out of it, there's that moment where, there's still an hour left of the movie. How is this going to end? How, we can't end now, and so it's like, I appreciate this, the suspense and the tension that he's able to build, and you know, uh, there's a lot of, uh, you know, a lot of, I'm just gonna say it. There's a lot of tension in the movie, um, and you're not sure what's going to happen. And it's like if all you know is they're trying to go and save one of their friends that was left behind, and that's all you know. And that's all I'm going to say too. And there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of danger, physical danger. I already told you there's some fight scenes, and those are well crafted. Those are, I bet you, those are probably some of the best fight scenes I've seen in movies lately. Like I was just saying, I just watched John Wick. John Wick looked cartoonish compared to this, and I think, to tell the truth, I think it's supposed to be. Um, but this felt more. This felt real, and it felt, you could almost feel every punch like you were the the person getting punched, and you were fearing for your life, and you had to survive. And I felt that. I put myself in that situation, like in my head. I'm like, oh crap, what would I do? I mean, these are soldiers, so they're trained to handle some of this, but hand to hand combat and stuff like that. But I I was, furthest I've gone was the Boy Scouts. So, we didn't do too much hand to hand combat. And, I just think probably just me and my brother, used to mess around, and I'm older than him. So I probably beat on him more than he beat on me. And, probably not in a good way, because I was the older brother, and I was like, oh, you're not going to mess with me. And, I was probably a big jerk. But that's a different story. But might get into that later, some other time. But well, that's really about it. I don't want to keep going on. It feels like I've been going on forever. Like I said, Tommy Jackson, fellow Chicagoland movie guy. Like I think I said in my last video, I'm kind of a movie buff. Ever since I was a kid, always watched movies with, either with my dad or with my brother, even my sister. And I just remember watching movies on TV before VHS was a thing, or before we could afford to, and parents could afford to have one, back in the late '70s, early '80s, and just watching what was ever on TV. Like I saw Jaws, on TV. I saw Close Encounters of the Third Time on TV. And The Shining. I didn't see the unedited version of The Shining until I got it on DVD when I was much older. Um, but so I'm kind of a movie buff. I tell you the truth, I wanted to do what Tommy Jackson does, and I know I'm not too old to even to start doing that, but that's something I'm thinking about. Is, since it's very easy nowadays to make a movie, but you have to know what you're doing. And Tommy Jackson knows what he's doing, and I think if he continues on this path, he's going to go places. And I'm looking forward to where he goes next. Like I said, I have another movie review of another one of his movies. And I'm going to be honest, my brother plays a part in the movie. And, I was excited to watch it. And so I did. And, my review has nothing to do with that my brother's in it. But it's still fun that my brother's in it. And it's cool. He's a local actor, and he tell you the truth, he just started acting like less than a year ago, I think. And so he's been in multiple movies, and tell you the truth, this is the only one I've seen him in. And so I'm excited to tell you guys about that movie. And but there'll be another time. But to get back to this, and let me finish this video off, so if I'm boring somebody, I don't want them to leave. I want them to watch the whole video. Watch the whole video. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm doing this for. So you guys watch the whole video. You get to know who I am. I could tell you about either great music or great movies or whatever else I'm going to do on this video channel. But if you guys have any other movies that you want me to watch, go send me a link, or send me a note in my comments down there, and I'll check it out. I check all my comments. I try to respond to all my comments if somebody wants a response. And I try to be as honest as possible, and it's really about it. But you know, I'm gonna look at my notes in case I forgot anything. But I just want to say, I mean, I said it already. Tommy Jackson, wears multiple hats. He's a director, cinematographer, writer, editor, and I'm not saying all of his movies look the same, but they all, you could tell he has a signature already that I've seen. And it's it's very, I want to say artistic. It's more artsy, less fartsy. That was dumb, but it's like I think there was a line from The Simpsons where Homer Simpson says the opposite: less fartsy, more artsy. But this is very, it's well crafted. Like I said, it's well crafted. Every scene feels like it's a painting. Like he purposely, as you could tell, it's Tommy Jackson's brushstrokes, and the shallow depth of field that he captures, and just um, the lighting, and that's why I mentioned that movie Only God Forgives with Ryan Gosling. Um, the lighting in that reminds me of some of this, where it's just bright. I don't want to say bright colors. They're not bright colors, but like in the picture behind me, up here. Um, whereas this green tone to it. There's multiple scenes where it's this one color tone, and I think it adds a lot to what's going on. Adds a lot to the tension. It's very psychological, and the way lighting and color can make you feel. And even, okay, I'd say this too. Even the score, the music is just very good. I'm not sure who does that. I guess I could look it up, but uh, well done, and it fits. And um, yeah, it just let me go down the list here. Like I said, the performances are great. It doesn't feel like, where the other movie, they felt like there was something missing, like they weren't, maybe the casting wasn't as done as well as this one. This one, I have no question that these guys are trained, but you could tell that the way that the um, the acting and the way they handle themselves, you could tell that they've been military trained. I think so. I think that helps too. It doesn't feel like they just wear this, put this on, hold, here's a gun, and pretend that you know, you you're in the military. No, it doesn't feel that way. You would think that for a low budget movie might feel that way. No, this feels like these guys, like, I'm not saying it feels like a documentary, but it feels like we're just watching, a military style rescue, and it's like, and we just happen to be, like a fly on the wall. And so kudos to, to Tommy. I mean, Tommy Jackson. I should give him I should call him by his full name. I'm not. I don't know him personally, but it's like um, just well crafted. It's just I can't say this enough, and it's very, I'm sure there's hundreds, maybe thousands of movie directors, or who, people who want to make movies, thousands, you know or not just in the United States, but I bet you in the Chicagoland area there is probably thousands of people that are trying to make movies right now. And right now, I believe Tommy Jackson is one of the best coming out of Chicago. And like I said, I'm excited to see where he goes. I'm excited what his next movies are. Um, this one was great. This one, like I said, it's there's it goes from you know uh, military style, you know ambush type things, very tense. You know what's going to happen next. To kind of like a horror type um, movie. Where some of the scenes are like, where'd this come from, and what are we looking at here? To just very tense, very action packed fight scenes, and then there's some scenes that are very emotional and very sad as well. I don't want to get too much into the plot. I don't want to give too much away, but you go on a roller coaster with this movie, and I think that kind of describes it. It's just a roller coaster ride. You're not sure where it's going to go and how it's going to end, but it was well worth the wait in line. I'm thinking of like Six Flags Great America, and thinking of waiting in line for the roller coaster and being nervous about what you're going to experience, and then afterwards you're like, that was well worth that hour and a half wait or whatever it was back in the day. Because I haven't been to Great America in years, but well worth the watch. And I'm gonna stop there. Felt like I had too much coffee today. I'm just rambling. It's worth watching, and it's fun, and it's tenseful and scary and just cool. Being a guy, and there's some fight scenes in it, and that's cool. And the way they're filmed, like I said, I think that's better than some Hollywood movies. But thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And look up Tommy Jackson and Land of Wolves. I highly recommend it. I think the sun is coming through my window here, so I'm gonna have to. It's giving off this crazy lens flare, so I'm gonna have to cut this one short. So, well, I was gonna cut it anyways. But I'll see you guys next time. This is Mango with Mango Reviews, and I hope you enjoy my videos. And like I said, support Tommy Jackson, or support your local independent movie guys and girls, because I think what we're getting out of our independent people is better than what we're getting out of Hollywood. And so that's about it. So again, Mango with Mango Reviews. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening to my rambling, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Bye, guys.